Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
We dealt with a business. We were given some promises, and that promise has not been fulfilled.
Customers of a Lower Mainland currency exchange claimed they're owed tens of thousands of dollars. More on their concerns and what the company says. Plus, a public hearing into the police-involved death of Miles Gray in 2015 has been abruptly adjourned. The halt centers on obscene language. And
I always think, would those months have made a difference?
a BC mother living with stage 4 breast cancer fears the wait to see an oncologist may cost her dearly.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. Several customers of a currency exchange in Coquitlam claim they're owed tens of thousands of dollars from the business and say they've had little help in getting their money back, all while that business keeps operating. Jason Proctor from our CBC Investigation Unit looks into the company's background.
These people are part of a group of customers of this Lower Mainland currency exchange who claim they are owed thousands of dollars. Some have sued, some have gone to the RCMP, and some have complained to BC's Financial Services Authority. Bottom line, they say, they want their money back and they want someone to help them.
We dealt with a business. We were given some promises, and that promise has not been fulfilled. That's all we care about.
The business is called Vanex Currency Exchange. Vanex's president told CBC he's promised to pay the company's outstanding debts by July and says he's cooperating with an ongoing RCMP investigation. He blames the company's problems on a bitter court battle between himself and his co-founder and current unrest in Iran. The story of Vanex was one of success. The two partners started the company in 2019 to transfer money between Iran and Canada. That could be complicated because sanctions prohibit Iran from the global financial messaging system. The company grew from 1 employee to 14, earning revenues of more than $1.7 million. But by 2024, court documents claim disagreements left Vanex deadlocked, paralyzed, and unable to function. A judge issued a so-called shotgun sale order, basically forcing the sale of the business from one partner to the other. But while the stalemate between owners ended, debts outside allegedly mounted.
I visited their Coquitlam branch multiple times.
In his lawsuit, Masood Ghorbani claims he transferred $21,000 from Iran in November, but has only received $6,000 of that so far.
And during, those visits, I saw other customers who said, they also had the paid money, but hadn't received their payout.
Sharare Mameni says she worked for 3 months at a campground in Clearwater to earn the $7,600 she wanted to send to Iran.
I lived and worked too hard for save just the money and just pay back my loan to my hometown. And I trust to this company, and the company is legally registered in Canada.
In responses to 5 of the 8 small claims lawsuits, Vanex challenged the jurisdiction, saying the contracts were entered into with a company in Iran, not Canada. And in emails to CBC, the company president wouldn't share the number of customers owed money or the total amount, but said Vanex is taking steps to stabilize its operations and repay outstanding amounts. BC has a financial sector regulator and even passed a law specifically aimed at the foreign exchange industry nearly 3 years ago with great fanfare, promising to monitor the local industry and keep bad actors out. But the regulator says the act is not in force, and the Ministry of Finance says work to establish a new regulatory framework is still ongoing. We asked the ministry about the dispute between Vanex and its customers and why it was taking so long to enforce this law. They said, this is new for BC and we want to make sure we do it right. Jason Proctor, CBC News, Vancouver.
Just days after it started, the public hearing into the police beating death of Miles Gray in 2015 has been abruptly adjourned until next week. The Office of the Police Complaint Commissioner says the break occurred Wednesday afternoon after obscene language was captured on a public audio stream of the hearing. That remark came during a discussion about playing of police recordings at the hearing. A CBC reporter heard the obscenity, which the OPCC calls serious and unacceptable. The hearing had been set to reconvene Wednesday afternoon, but an in-camera hearing was held instead. BC's Law Society says it is also investigating. The hearing will resume Monday morning. Gray died after a violent altercation with several Vancouver police officers in August 2015. The 7 officers have denied misconduct at the hearing, which was requested by Gray's family. None of the officers have ever been charged or disciplined. A BC mother living with stage 4 breast cancer is speaking out about the wait to see an oncologist. She fears a 2-month delay may have cost her dearly. As the CBC's Katie DeRosa reports, BC's Premier says while things are improving, more must be done.
With her 11-year-old daughter looking on, Sarah Galuli is hesitant to talk about the survival chances of her stage 4 breast cancer.
When you have metastatic breast cancer, you're down to 25% chance to make it to 5 years.
The 40-year-old mother of 2 from Port Moody was speaking from the legislature, raising concerns about the months-long wait to see an oncologist.
I felt like our system was just letting me down a little bit.
Galuli first felt a lump in her breast in May of last year. She was diagnosed with breast cancer on July 1st and had the tumor removed on July 28th. It was another 2 months until her first meeting with an oncologist, well beyond the national benchmark of 4 weeks. By early November, her cancer had spread to her lungs.
And I always think, would those months have made a difference?
Data from BC Cancer shows the province is still struggling to meet the 4-week benchmark between referral and seeing an oncologist. Just 63% of new patients saw a medical oncologist within that time frame. The union, representing more than 23,000 healthcare professionals, says delays are also caused by a shortage of professionals in diagnostic imaging.
There are fewer than 30 PET technologists working in all of British Columbia, and thousands of British Columbians every day need to be seen by them, and that leads to, of course, a terrible bottleneck.
BC Cancer says it has reduced wait times to start cancer treatment. Just over 90% of new patients are starting radiation therapy within 4 weeks. That's up from 75% in December 2023, when backlogs forced BC Cancer to send some patients to Bellingham for treatment. But according to the Canadian Institute for Health Information, BC's wait times for radiation are still the worst in the country, according to data from 2024 to 2025. Premier David Eby says while the province has added hundreds of new cancer workers, including doctors and technicians,
there is still huge strain on the system.
4 new cancer centres are slated to open in Nanaimo, Kamloops, Surrey and Burnaby by 2030. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
If driving at night feels like you're fighting off the glare of headlights, join the club. Experts say the LED headlights on newer vehicles are, in fact, more blinding than what most people grew up with. And as Troy Charles shows us, Vancouver City Council wants Ottawa to do something about it.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night.
In 1976, the song Blinded by the Light by Manfred Mann's Earth Band reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song is not written about car headlights, but 50 years later, it may as well be.
They're very bright. They're blinding sometimes.
Driving at night when cars are behind you, it's so bright that you have to kind of try to block it out that way.
Many can relate to this scenario. You're driving at night, minding your own business, when all of a sudden you are blasted with a bright white light that leaves you thinking, that's not very safe.
You know, some kind of regulations for the lights will be great.
Vancouver City Council agrees.
Kind of admit it's a little personal because my mom absolutely hates these lights when driving. I do realize this is outside of our jurisdiction, but I think it's important to advocate to the federal government.
Council has unanimously passed a motion to have the mayor write a letter to Transport Canada urging action to address excessive headlight brightness, including updates to national vehicle safety standards.
I feel like it's very dangerous sometimes, especially with my baby. I don't feel like I can go out after 5 p.m.
Road safety activists say headlight glare is a serious issue across Canada as vehicles transition from warmer old-style halogen lights to newer LED headlights.
In Europe and in Asia, they have really different headlight regulations than we have here, where they're really actually looking at the way these lights are aimed and calibrated.
CBC News reached out to Transport Canada but did not hear back in time for deadline.
Brighter headlights have improved visibility, but brighter is not always better, right? We need proper aim so that we're illuminating the right parts of the road and we're really able to see well.
Councillor Orr's motion will also go before the Federation of Canadian Municipalities when they meet this June. Troy Charles, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, several hundred people gathered at UBC's Point Grey campus earlier in the day to oppose a visit from a nearby MLA. Vancouver-Quilchena MLA Dallas Brody co-founded One BC after she was booted from the BC Conservative Party for comments about residential school survivors. One protester says politicians ought to focus on other things.
It's not productive. I'm more worried about the housing crisis, the cost of groceries, the things that we actually need to worry about, the fact that some of the buses are slow as hell.
In December, One BC announced it had removed Brody as leader, but she says she still considers herself its head. One BC's stated priorities include defunding what it calls the reconciliation industry and ending mass immigration. And an update on that story, University RCMP say one person was arrested and later released without charges. A 41-year-old Sunshine Coast man is in the ICU with a life-altering injury after he was hurt during a non-competitive hockey game. As Alana Kelly explains, his entire community is now showing up to support him.
During a friendly Friday night hockey game, things took a turn.
Say I love you to your partner before they leave the door, because life can just really change in a heartbeat.
Michał Habitin and another player collided.
And then just fell into the boards, and I think all their weight just kind of went on, and it was just a freak accident. The angle of the neck the wrong way, and he's overextended his neck essentially.
A freak accident his teammates say could have happened to any one of them.
I've seen that play 1,000 times. He is so fast, and it was nothing. and now it's changed everything.
His fiancée got the phone call and rushed to the nearby Sunshine Coast Hospital.
My whole body was in pure panic. Like, my mom and my sister had to just physically hold me up. Like, my whole body, just my legs fell out from under me. I've never shaken so violently in my life.
They were flown to Vancouver General Hospital, where she learned about his life-changing spinal injury.
He wasn't able to move anything below his shoulders, had no function or feeling. He's had moments where he didn't know if he was going to survive.
They are taking it day by day.
His recovery is going to be so long, and he won't be able to immediately return to do the things he's always loved.
Oh, God. Together, they own a construction business.
I just truly believe that no matter what, we're going to have like a beautiful and fulfilling life, but it's not without its struggles. And I think that our community and our families and our friends are just so supportive.
Friendships formed on the ice have evolved to be more like family.
He is the best person. He is so kind. He is so nice.
The couple's community has raised more than $330,000 in support and are planning a hockey game on January 31st to raise more money.
It really gives us some hope, and then I can focus on the present and focus on his recoveries.
In true Michał fashion, he's putting in the work.
The first day off sedation, and all he's thinking about is like, physio, let's go.
With goals in sight and already practicing. Alana Kelly, CBC News, Squamish.
Stephanie Hungerford is here with a BC-wide weather forecast, or at least the first look, I should say. What do we get? Still that fog sticking around.
Oh, yes, I know. We might sound like a broken record here, but yes, this fog is sticking around for one more night. That advisory is being extended into tomorrow morning for Metro Vancouver and the eastern part of Vancouver Island. And then tomorrow, that fog will dissipate because there will be some winds that come in that finally kind of shoo that fog away. We will have some freezing temperatures, though, tonight. So we have to be careful about that black ice, which we have seen the last couple of days because temperatures are dipping below zero. But it'll be 7 degrees tomorrow and really sunny.
Sounds good. Thanks, Stephanie. Could rapid buses reshape transit in Metro Vancouver? Well, Justin McElroy is going to weigh in on that question after the break. TransLink is asking for your feedback on new rapid bus routes in the Lower Mainland. They would create dedicated bus-only lanes while decreasing car space in some areas. As our municipal affairs reporter Justin McElroy explains, it's a trade-off politicians and the public haven't always gotten on board with.
The township of Langley. It's a municipality with a growing number of people, a growing number of cars, and a growing discussion on how to get those people out of cars and into buses.
We got to find a way for a lot of people to get around more affordably, not necessarily having to use their car, and that's going to require some trade-offs.
That is Eric Woodward, the township's mayor, who is supporting the next stage of TransLink's consultations for something you're going to be hearing a lot about in upcoming years: bus rapid transit.
More dedicated lanes, it's a faster service, it's a more reliable service, it's coming every 5 minutes. That's what we really want to put in place for this region.
This week, TransLink started the next round of BRT consultations for two routes, one connecting Maple Ridge and Langley, the other with Surrey and White Rock. What would make them different from rapid buses is having dedicated bus-only lanes, primarily in the center of streets, that would run every 5 minutes at peak hours and even jump traffic lights. TransLink wants up to 9 BRT lines and says they would be the affordable middle link between SkyTrain and regular buses.
Most BRT systems are done for, a fraction of the cost of SkyTrain. Let's call it a quarter of the cost, an eighth of the cost. It's usually quite a significant fraction less.
It all sounds good, but let's go back to 2017, the last time TransLink had a lot of new non-SkyTrain plans with plenty of planning and consultation. There was a proposal for light rail in Surrey, but that was cancelled after Doug McCallum won election on a promise to push for SkyTrain to Langley instead. There were discussions around mobility pricing, funding TransLink by charging drivers for entering certain zones, but that was kiboshed because of political backlash. And there were plans for B lines throughout the region, and while some happened under the name Rapid Bus, the one through West Vancouver was cut short at the border after community protests over losses of parking. Now, in all three cases, councils voted to support the planning and the consultation, just like they did for these BRTs. And in all three cases, politicians backed away because of perceived or real community opposition. And all of these BRTs could involve sections with reduced lanes for cars or reductions for parking. But a lobbying group for more transit in Metro Vancouver hopes attitudes have changed.
I really do think the culture in this region has shifted. I think there's a lot more support around this issue. There's a lot less kind of mistrust of transit's motivations and a lot more just like, let's get on with it.
But how much has the culture shifted in Metro Vancouver? For the other BRT under consultation in Burnaby and the North Shore, there has already been backlash over the possible loss of parking. And when we spoke with Woodward, he said one of the pros of this project was that it wouldn't take away car space.
It's critical that we note that here on this corridor, we're looking at expanding travel lanes, not contracting travel lanes in order for dedicated bus service. We're going to have the best of both.
But in the area where we conducted the interview, TransLink has said that in some areas, a reduction of lanes may be required. And Woodward couldn't say what would happen to support if that was the case.
I think it'd be a conversation you have to have with the public to look at the trade-offs.
Those conversations won't fully happen until there is funding and until specifics over how streets would look is finalized. But those trade-offs are real. And if politicians want bus rapid transit to succeed where other past projects have failed, they should start thinking about those conversations sooner rather than later. Justin McElroy, CBC News, Vancouver.
A school in Surrey has unveiled a new inclusive playground which offers sensory walls and accessible paths.
These thoughtful elements ensure that all students, regardless of their ability or need, can participate fully, feel welcome, and experience the joy of playing together.
The funding for the playground at AHP Matthew Elementary is part of BC's Playground Equipment Program. Last April, 25 school districts received $200,000 from the province to build more accessible playgrounds. A crisp and clear day up on Grouse Mountain with some bundling up to skate on the outdoor rink. Stephanie Hungerford will have your BC-wide weather forecast coming up.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
It is a race against time in New Zealand as rescuers there search for possible survivors in the wake of a deadly landslide. You can see where a part of this mountainside gave way on Wednesday, killing at least 2 people. A Canadian family was staying at a resort right in the path of that slide. This is the father describing how he was interrupted during a massage.
It was like a freight train going right by your window, and it just didn't make sense because there wasn't railroad tracks or a road nearby. We were at the far end of the facility, which is up against the height of the mountain, which nothing could possibly be that loud.
In the aftermath, some witnesses reported hearing voices from the rubble. Rescuers later said they have not yet detected any signs of life. Back in this country, Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke for the first time since his impassioned speech in Davos, Switzerland. Ahead of a cabinet retreat, he had a message for Canadians. He also had something to say following Donald Trump's words about him in Davos. Olivia Stefanovich explains it all on what the Prime Minister said.
In a fortress originally built to defend from an American invasion, the Prime Minister is gathering with his cabinet to plan for the battles ahead.
Our values must be fought for. That's what we are doing. That's what Canadians want. Canadians are up for it.
And for the first time, Mark Carney is responding to Donald Trump's direct criticism at the World Economic Forum.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark.
Where the president called out the Prime Minister by name.
Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
Carney delivering yet another impassioned speech, this one aimed at Canadians, after drawing both praise and pushback for condemning coercion by great powers before an international audience.
That was an important moment for the Prime Minister to show his leadership.
Carney setting the tone for the federal government's direction as it navigates growing geopolitical tensions.
We can only control what we can control as a cabinet and as a country, but I'm not going to pretend that it won't be difficult over the next little while.
And faces increasing pressure to address domestic concerns over affordability and a slow economy.
They do have to start to really point to things that they're doing, and people need to start feeling that there's at least some progress, right?
This pollster says Canadians largely understand solutions take time, but for this minority government, there may not be much runway left.
If there's a liability, it's that, and they need to perhaps do better in making people feel that things are going to get better, that create a little more optimism about how things are going to go over the next number of months and years.
Carney says his government needs to execute its agenda fairly and fast, but he still faces challenges translating those words into action. With Parliament set to return from its winter break next week and no sign the opposition is willing to be more cooperative. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Quebec City.
Back in Europe, alarm over Donald Trump's desire to acquire Greenland has now turned to confusion. After months of threats to take over the Danish Arctic island, the president announced a framework for a deal he says would satisfy American security needs. But as Chris Brown explains, European leaders have their doubts.
Whatever arrangement Donald Trump says he struck in Davos to defuse the Greenland crisis, it seems far from a done deal. To begin with, neither Greenland nor Denmark say they were part of it.
I don't know what concrete in it. What I'm saying is that we have a high-level working group that will sort things out.
We're having tremendous meetings with...
The arrangement was apparently hatched between Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, but both kept details vague.
So what are we talking about? An acquisition of Greenland? Are you going to pay for it? I mean,
we're talking about it. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. It's there's no end.
Some reports have suggested the U.S. could gain actual sovereignty over military bases in Greenland, but Denmark has ruled that out.
A discussion about our status as a sovereign state, it cannot be discussed, it cannot be changed.
That leaves a possibility that Trump climbed down to get something he could have just asked for. rather than threatening to blow up a 76-year military alliance.
It's all very confusing, and it's very hard to find any kind of functionality in it.
Europe's pushback against Trump's threat of damaging tariffs is being seen as a win.
I see that as a reflection of pragmatism, common sense, and sticking to our values and our principles.
We give so much and we get so little in return.
The president's rant in Davos was full of grievances about Europe, and a summit in Brussels Thursday night was focused on how to insulate the EU from more of his chaos.
It is so important for all of us, also for our partners in Washington, to understand the difference between domination and leadership.
Many Europeans see this outcome as their continent standing up to an American bully. The Greenland crisis has badly shaken confidence in Europe's most powerful ally. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Negotiations are happening this week to bring an end to the Russian-sparked war against Ukraine. The Ukrainian president made the announcement after speaking with Trump at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. As Briar Stewart explains, Zelensky also gave a speech accusing European leaders of not doing enough to help end the war that has devastated his country.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with U.S. President Donald Trump in Davos today for just over an hour. Both sides said the meeting went well, but there were few details. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, along with Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, are on their way to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin. However, they won't be there very long. The meeting will be quite brief because both of the men are heading then to the United Arab Emirates. And tomorrow, U.S. officials will be meeting with officials from Ukraine and Russia. Now, the U.S. has been quite positive about how things stand, saying that they believe a deal is reasonably close. Zelensky, in his address at Davos, said that some documents were very close to being signed. It's not clear, however, whether he's talking about an overarching peace deal or documents specifically related to security guarantees that Kyiv has been negotiating with Washington. It is very hard to see just how Russia and Ukraine could be close to a deal, given that Russia is demanding an even greater chunk of eastern Ukraine and all of the Donetsk region. Now, in Zelensky's speech, he spent a lot of time talking about Europe, how he believed that Europe needed to be bolder and do more to defend democracies everywhere.
Instead of taking the lead in defending freedom worldwide, especially when America's focus shifts elsewhere, Europe looks lost, trying to convince the US president to change. But he will not change.
As for the situation in Ukraine, Trump said that in the war last month, 30,000 soldiers were lost, without clarifying where he got that information from. Russia's repeated attacks on Ukraine's energy grid has led to a crisis. Government officials have declared an energy emergency. In the capital in Kyiv, there are 3,000 apartment buildings that are without heat and power. The situation has been made worse by the fact that Ukraine has endured a particularly long stretch of frigid weather. The issue with the heat is such a problem that schools in the area have been closed until the beginning of February. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
There is new outrage about the actions of U.S. immigration officers in Minnesota after a preschooler was taken by ICE.
Why detain a 5-year-old? You can't tell me that this child is going to be classified as a violent criminal.
School officials say 5-year-old Liam Ramos was detained along with his father after he arrived home from school on Tuesday. They said the child could have been left with his mother, who was inside. Immigration officials deny the child was targeted, saying Liam was taken for his own safety. Both father and son are now in an ICE detention facility in Texas. The local school board says Liam is one of 4 students, all minors, picked up by ICE in the past 2 weeks. Thousands of federal immigration officers have been sent to Minnesota last month in what Donald Trump has called a crackdown to get violent criminals out of that country. And now, complete expansion at Kelowna International Airport has officials there saying they're ready for their close-up. We're going to take you inside after this.
Hey, I'm Rohith Joseph. Vibin' is the new show all about discovering great new songs and fresh artists from across BC and beyond. Stream Vibin' on CBC Listen.
A massive expansion at Kelowna International Airport is officially complete with a new departure hall and high-tech security. Airport officials say they're finally ready for record-breaking crowds. Brady Strachan takes us inside.
While this baggage check process might look familiar, these futuristic luggage scanners are a high-tech upgrade for security agents and travelers alike.
We're seeing a much reduced wait time.
For passengers, it's a simple drop and go. No more digging for laptops or liquids. These new X-ray scanners use CT technology, similar to what you'd find at a hospital.
Literally a CT scan for your luggage. Now, currently there's no ability for passengers to also use it as well, but it is a highly advanced step up from what we're currently using.
The 3D images give agents a better look inside each bag, moving people through security faster.
I would believe that it is pretty significant, but it's warranted. The city is growing.
This technology is just part of a $108 million expansion at Kelowna International Airport, paid for with passenger fees. People will pass through this spacious departure lounge, built with BC mass timber and floor-to-ceiling windows.
It's a tremendous view as people are waiting to depart, and of course are able to enjoy a space that is a lot more conducive than what we've had with shoulder-to-shoulder passenger traffic.
The expansion adds nearly 6,000 square meters to the terminal. It's a much-needed move. Passenger traffic is up more than 8% over last year, a trend Samadar says isn't slowing down.
The demand, because we're a Four Seasons destination, typically a lot of Canadian airports, you see that demand drop off over the winter months. We're seeing our demand continue to be stable pretty well all year round.
The new departure hall opens to travelers on January 28th. Brady Strachan, CBC News, Kelowna.
The weather update is brought to you by the BC Cancer Foundation. The future of cancer care can be your legacy. Fuel innovation and life-saving treatments by leaving a gift in your will today.
Stephanie Hungerford is here with the BC Wide Weather Forecast. We have had a belly full of fog. Do we get any actual precipitation?
Well, good question. Not for the next few days. So really throughout the province, we're going to see a lot of dry weather this weekend, which is great because it's going to be nice and sunny for most of the province. We still will see fog in the Metro Vancouver area and East Vancouver Island, but that's going to disappear tomorrow morning, and that is because of wind that is going to come in and blow the fog away, which we've sort of been waiting for over the last week or so. We're going to get really high gusts in areas like the Fraser Valley. They haven't had as much fog as Metro Vancouver, but that's where we're going to see quite a bit of wind. And we're really going to see some nice weather throughout BC, as I was saying. Tonight, we still have some possibilities of rain in places like Tofino, about a 30% chance. Williams Lake might see some flurries, and Cranbrook. But that's really only for tonight. And then tomorrow, you're going to see, look at that, absolutely beautiful weather. I don't know if I've seen a board like this in a long time where everything is sunny. So if you are a skier, this is the time to go out. Even if there isn't new snow, it's going to be some bluebird days out there. Much the same for Saturday. Pretty cold up north still, but not as cold as it usually is for this time of year. We're going to see some temperatures drop, though, over the next few days as it's sunny. And for the 5-day forecast, we have, of course, 7 and really cold at night here for us. Really cold. That's all relative.
Metro Vancouver cold. Yes.
Sunday, sunny. Monday, we've got rain, and Tuesday as well. So that's when we might see some snow for the local mountains, which is great. And, you know, in terms of the fog, we used to be a very foggy city, kind of before the 90s and the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Ask anybody who was there.
Yeah, it's because we had industrial pollution from sawmills and from wood burning fireplaces. So there you go, little trivia for you.
There we are. Stephanie Hungerford with the history lesson. Thanks very much. Speaking of the 80s, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Expo 86, the World's Fair many believe put this city on the world map. It came to be in part from a chat in 1978 between Patrick Reed, president of the governing body of World's Fairs, and Grace McCarthy, BC's then Minister of Tourism. Take a look at this report from 1986.
The story switches to Paris, home of World's Fairs. It's a couple of years after the luncheon, November 26, 1980. Official approval is given. The news phoned home to Vancouver. Somehow, this site along False Creek would be magically transformed into a World's Fair. It would cost about $150 million. Two key people officially on board: Patrick Reed, Commissioner General of the fair; local businessman Jimmy Pattison, chairman of the Expo board. The new fair will be called Transpo, to commemorate the centennial of the arrival of the first transcontinental train to the West Coast. There's an added bonus. 1986 is also the centennial of the city of Vancouver. One slight snag: Vancouver Mayor Mike Harcourt isn't exactly on the bandwagon. He campaigns against the fair, says land is needed for housing, and who's going to pay the bills?
I hate to be a dash of cold water in these proceedings, but I think it would be less than honest, Mr. Minister, for me not to make those points as clearly as possible.
Harcourt is told that if he wants a light rapid transit system, he's got to accept Transpo. He softens his stand. The international wheeling and dealing begins in earnest. Britain is the first country to sign up. The site is cleared. Goodbye to Sweeney Cooperage. And goodbye to Bay Lumber.
30 big at 5 at 30 big at 5. Oh, we all bid $60 and the event's on 60. These all came out of the mill here. 60 bid, 60 big at the...
Goodbye also to Transpo. Hello, Expo 86. It's now a transportation and communications fair. Construction finally begins. So does trouble.
Neither this project, nor Expo, nor any other major project is going to go ahead non-union without a very high price being paid by those.
It starts at the penny farthing condo site on the shores of False Creek. Phase 1 was union built. A non-union contractor, Bill Kirchhoff, is building Phase 2. The unions say it must be all union built. Expo and the government take a tough stand on any labor delays.
Wouldn't delay it, it would cancel it.
Pattison and Gauthier are given 10 days to negotiate. They fail, so Expo is legislated an open site.
I'm announcing today that the government has decided that Expo 86 will proceed. Contracts will be open to both unionized and non-unionized construction firms.
Workers stage a series of actions, walking off, returning. Expo says the fair could go completely non-union.
That if the people continue to work, then they will retain their contracts. If they walk off the site, then we will cancel contracts and replace them with people that wish to work.
Finally, the government declares the fair an economic development zone. No strikes allowed. The unions want all workers on the site to get union wages. They have to settle for non-union workers getting a guaranteed minimum wage. Expo's back on track. More countries sign up. But trouble isn't over. The Expo Center, it's one of the legacies of the fair, like France's Eiffel Tower, Seattle's Space Needle. But Expo's Space Age Ball has a minor problem. It leaks.
The roofs have to be fixed, and they're going to be fixed.
Nonetheless, the center is held up as a showpiece, an example of Expo progress. It opens 1 year ahead of the fair with a gala party for 3,000 invited guests. The tab runs up to $500,000. And once more, everyone's in love with Expo. But there are ripples behind the scenes. The contract for souvenirs goes to a company which is American-owned and facing fraud charges relating to the New Orleans World's Fair. Bad enough not to go local, but who needs to be reminded of New Orleans? A World's Fair $100 million in debt. Then the heat gets turned on Expo's American-born president, Michael Bartlett. Bartlett buys a top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz with Expo money. He also holds an executive meeting at a luxury California resort. At first, Tourism Minister Claude Richmond and Expo Chairman Jimmy Pattison say nothing. But 2 days later, Bartlett is gone. Expo has a life of its own. Even without Bartlett, the fair is growing. There are things to see. The Prime Minister visits. Then comes the selling of the fair.
Share the excitement of Expo 86.
By January 1986, Expo tickets are 60% pre-sold. The fair's on time and on budget, although the original $150 million is now $802 million. It won't make money, but the Expo people tell us no World's Fair does. The warehouse district along False Creek has been transformed from this to this. A tiny city world within a city. For now, most of the critics have been silenced. Questions about the money spent, what happens to the fair later, are in the background. Most eyes are focused on the day this fair opens to the world. 100 days and counting. Connie Monk, CBC News, Vancouver.
Nominations for the 98th Annual Academy Awards have been announced, and one film made history with 16 nods. More on that and the rest of the field after the break.
I'm Stephen Quinn, and I love living here in Vancouver, BC. It's a city with world-renowned beauty, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In our new daily podcast, This is Vancouver, we're exploring the diverse range of issues and stories in the city, the good, the bad, and everything in between, as told by the people who live it every day. Don't miss This is Vancouver, available wherever you get your podcasts, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
On February 11th, CBC's Stephen Quinn moderates the alumni UBC webinar, Think Well, Live Well, Brain Health for Life. Join the conversation for expert insight into protecting your brain health and vitality. Register at alumni.ubc.ca and never miss a special programming series, event, or contest. Subscribe to CBC's e-newsletter and keep connected with us.
Oscar fans have 52 days left until the big show, and now they know who the winners might be.
And to present the nominees, here is the CBC's Eli Glasner.
It was back in April when Ryan Coogler's outrageously original vampire movie Sinners opened. Not a typical time for an Oscar contender, but the movie from the director of Creed and Black Panther was a box office monster. And now this combination of music, Southern Gothic, and gore has set a new Oscar record, earning 16 nominations, beating out movies like Titanic and La La Land. Now, before today, it would have been a safe bet that one battle after another would have been the Oscar frontrunner, the revolutionary action comedy from every cinephile's favorite director, Paul Thomas Anderson, cleaned up in previous award shows. In the end, it took home 13 nominations, including acting noms for Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Benicio del Toro, and Sean Penn, but not for young lead Chase Infinity. It was a good morning for the Canadian makeup and production design teams behind Frankenstein, filmed mainly in Toronto, but it was an animation where Canada really shined, with both Domi Shi and Maggie Kang nominated for Elio and the Netflix sensation K-pop Demon Hunters. Also, once again, the National Film Board has another Oscar-nominated short, this a beautifully constructed animated film called The Girl Who Cried Pearls. Wouldn't be the Oscars without snubs or surprises. In terms of snubs, one of the biggest was for Wicked for Good. No nominations, not for Ariana Grande or even Best Song. Meanwhile, F1, starring Brad Pitt, you may have heard of him, raced into the Best Picture category. Neil Diamond fans can cheer on Song Sung Blue for Kate Hudson's nomination as the wife of a Neil Diamond impersonator. And Ethan Hawke squeaked into a very tight actor race, getting a nomination for his work in Blue Moon. Love that film. And finally, the success of Brazil's The Secret Agent and Norway's Sentimental Value really underscores how Oscar voters and audiences worldwide are increasingly embracing non-English films and stories. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
And between us, we've seen none of these films.
Zero.
So we have to get on the train. That's cool to see the Canadian connection, though.
I know, I love that. Well, we have 52 days.
That's what it said.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube and our website, cbc.ca/BC.
And we'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.